Two more bodies recovered as Penguin mourns members in Port Harcourt helicopter crash. Court clears way for Kano local government elections, nullifies attempts to halt polls. Just timber traders, artisans lose patronage as blackout enters day 5. On a foreign scene, tropical storm leaves town submerged, 40 dead in Philippines. This is the news update on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau says 2 more bodies have been recovered from the Sikorsky SK-76 helicopter that crashed in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. 3 persons were confirmed dead following the crash on Thursday. 8 persons were said to be on board the aircraft when the incident happened. Barely a day after the crash, the NSIB said more bodies had been recovered, while 3 more persons remain unaccounted for. According to him, investigators are on their way to the scene of the accident, saying it will take days for the wreckage of the aircraft to be recovered. The helicopter with registration 5NBQG, operated by East Wind Aviation, crashed 1 kilometer away from its destination. It was engaged by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPP. Meanwhile, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Penguin, has mourned its members involved in the helicopter crash reported near Boni Finima on Thursday in Port Harcourt. A statement signed by the president of the association, Festus Usifo, on Friday said the crash had claimed the lives of 4 of its members. He said the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria is deeply saddened and shocked by the tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 4 of its esteemed members. The crash occurred in the early hours of Thursday, 24th October 2024 in Rivers State. He noted that the association is currently working to gather more information about the circumstances surrounding the crash and is cooperating fully with the relevant authorities in their investigation. All 8 passengers inside the helicopter crash that occurred in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, on Thursday may have died. In an update, the River State Police Command, in a statement by its Public Relations Officer SP Grace Iringe Koko, noted that all the passengers may have lost their lives in the tragic incident. The update comes after President Bola Tinubu ordered an intensified search and directed the military to join search for the passengers involved in the crash. The accident occurred at 11:22 a.m. along the waterways in Port Harcourt when the helicopter, the Sikorsky SK-76, operated by East Wind Aviation, took off from Port Harcourt Military Base to the FPSO James Anton oil rig. From Plateau State, 2 students have been killed along Kura Falls, Barkin-Ladi Road in Gashish district of Barkin-Ladi local government area of the state. One of the students, identified as Obadiah Darian, was a student at the National Veterinary Research Institute, VOM, and the other, Ezekiel Monday, was a student of Government Senior Secondary School, Gashish. It was guarded that they were ambushed by gunmen and shot dead when they were on a motorcycle to Barkin-Ladi town. The attackers also carted away the phone belonging to Obadiah. In another attack on Thursday night, a young man by the name Francis Samuel, who hailed from Far Settlement, was also reportedly stabbed in Kui community. It was learned that the victim survived the attack, but is currently on admission in the hospital receiving treatment. The Police Public Relations Officer of the Plateau State Command, Alfred Alabo, is yet to respond to the attacks. Over in Kano State, High Court has nullified any attempt to truncate the conduct of local government's elections, directing Kano State Independent Electoral Commission (KANSEC) to proceed with the conduct of local government elections scheduled for Saturday. Justice Sanusi Ma'aji of the State High Court gave the order in a matter filed by the State Independent Electoral Commission against the All Progressives Congress (APC) and 13 others on Friday. According to the justice, KANSEC is empowered by the provisions of the Constitution to conduct, supervise and hold local government elections across the 44 local government areas of the state. He maintained that any attempt to truncate the process of conducting the poll amounts to nullity. Justice Sanusi also ordered the security agencies to, as a matter of urgency, provide protection of life and property during the conduct of the election slated for tomorrow. Justice Simon Amobeda of the Federal High Court in Kano on Tuesday stopped the conduct of the council election, noting that the State Independent Electoral Commission was illegally constituted.
We are not arguing about the functions and duties of the plaintiff, but we are saying that the composition and constitution of the plaintiff was done in contravention of the provisions of the Constitution and provisions of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission laws.
The judgment was well sounded, and it has also ordered that the election should continue to hold, and also the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission has the jurisdiction to conduct this election, has the powers to conduct this election, and it also make a further order that all the security agencies in the state, including the police, the army, all the security, DSS and whatever, they are mandated as a matter of constitutional responsibility to provide adequate security for the conduct of this election.
Still in Kano State and with the elections, the Electoral Commission (KANSEC) said it is ready to conduct a hitch-free and peaceful elections across the 44 local government areas of the state. The Commission's chairman, Sani Lawan Mananfashi, made this known barely an hour after the State High Court upheld the Commission's power to conduct the election. According to him, all sensitive and non-sensitive materials needed for the exercise are already available.
Kano State Independent Electoral Commission has the mandate to plan for election, organize election, conduct election, and declare election results. Constitutional mandate of the Commission has now been upheld by today's judgment, and the judgment requested police as critical stakeholders to involve themselves by participating in securing the entire electoral processes. The expectation of all Democrats is that this judgment be respected, because it was passed by the court that has jurisdiction to decide on issues relating to states and local government.
Meanwhile, the factional chairman of New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) in Kano State, Dalhatu Shehu Usman, said the State Independent Electoral Commission (KANSEC) would declare candidates belonging to his faction if NNPP wins the election on Saturday. Speaking after the Federal High Court judgment on Friday, the factional chairman said the list of candidates he submitted but rejected by the electoral umpire had been declared the rightful candidates and likely to win the election. He said the chairmanship of Hashimu Dungurawa is declared to be a nullity. Asked if the candidates he represented to KANSEC were screened, Usman said the commission declined to receive his list, and that was what compelled to approach the court for redress. He said if the party wins and KANSEC refused to declare his candidates as winners, it is at their own peril to insist that order of the court remains valid until it is set aside. Members of the Joint Health Sector Unions and Assembly of the Healthcare Professionals, JOHEISU, have declared a 7-day warning strike commencing from midnight on Friday. The latest strike comes after a 15-day notice of industrial action issued to the federal government. While addressing journalists in Abuja, the national chairman of the union, Kabiru Minjibri, listed some of its demands. They include the immediate implementation of the consolidated health salary structure, payment of a 25% review of its arrears from June to December 2023, upward review of retirement age for health workers, tax waiver on healthcare workers' allowances, and the immediate payment of COVID-19 inducement hazard allowance, among other demands. The body is asking all its members across the country to comply with the directive. You're still on to Trust TV's news updates, still to come. Just timber traders, artisans lose patronage as blackout enters day 5. The story and more when we return. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. A recap of our top stories. We told you that 2 more bodies recovered as Pengathan mourns members in Port Harcourt helicopter crash. We also informed you that court clears way for Kano local government elections, nullifies attempts to halt polls. To other stories, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has emphasized the negative impact of biodiversity loss on ecosystem resilience. He made the emphasis during a public hearing on the Endangered Species Conservation and Protection Bill organized by the House Committee on Treaties, Protocols and Environment, focused on protecting Nigeria's biodiversity. Here's more. Biodiversity is crucial for maintaining the balance and health of ecosystems, and its loss can have profound implications for both ecological and human systems. Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, who was represented by Deputy Minority Leader Ali Issa, highlighted how ecological imbalance can threaten food security and human health, underscoring the country's commitment to preserving its rich biodiversity. He noted that protecting the environment opens opportunities for economic benefits and emphasized that the bill seeks to establish a legal framework to combat illegal wildlife trade, impose penalties, promote sustainable management, and support community-based conservation efforts.
The loss of biodiversity weakens our ecosystem resilience, making it more susceptible to environmental disturbances. The disruption of ecological balance can lead to decline of other species, impacting food security and potentially triggering unforeseen consequences for human health.
Chairman of the Committee on Treaties, Protocols, Rabiu Yusuf, stressed that the bill is crucial to safeguarding Nigeria's biodiversity and fulfilling international commitments to wildlife conservation.
We are witnessing an alarming decline in biodiversity, driven by habitat destruction, deforestation, illegal wildlife trade, poaching, and climate change. Our natural resources, once abundant, are now vulnerable to over-exploitation and mismanagement, placing several species on the brink of extinction. As we stand at this critical juncture, the need for a strong legislative framework to conserve and manage our wildlife has never been more pressing than now.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Environment, represented by the Director of Forestry, Moses Ama, called for an in-depth species inventory before proceeding with the bill, urging a comprehensive assessment of the nation's wildlife.
While this public hearing presents an invaluable opportunity to properly situate the bill within our context, with our national context, we would respectfully draw the attention of the honourable member to the need to conduct an in-depth species inventory for the proper categorization of all species into schedules based on scientific data.
Various stakeholders advocated for stricter penalties for violators. As power outage enters its 5th day in some states in northern Nigeria, timber traders and artisans in just the Plateau state capital say they are losing customers on a daily basis. Residents of the state have remained in blackout since Monday following the tripping of a 330 kV circuit transmission line between Makurdi in Benue State and Enugu State. Here's more in the report.
Since the power outage on Monday morning, residents of the state have been speaking on the development. The situation is not only affecting those using electricity for domestic purposes, but also those using it for businesses. Artisans and timber traders, among others, say the power outage being experienced in the state is affecting their businesses.
This scarcity of life has causing a lot of problem for our business. Even just now, most our customers, when they are come to the market, because we don't have light, they used to go. So we are not getting more money.
As you can see, nothing is moving. In this market, when you come, you'll find it's a busy market, but you can see people are just, hanging around and sitting, just because they have no option than to sit. We have few generators here, and the generators too are faulty. They cannot serve the people here. They cannot serve they cannot serve the customers.
But right now, we don't know what is going on. We just wake up in the morning, the light being ceased. About 3 days now, we are really suffering. Because most of our people now, we are just coming to sleep, not to do market. Not to do market. Even if you can see my eye now, I'm just waking up from sleeping.
Light issue, it affected us in different ways. Morally, financially. Both our family, our siblings, or any other place that our species should go to is being affected. Because coming here to come and work, you don't have the opportunity to work, you don't have the opportunity to buy fuel, even if you even have generator. Fuel is cost, light is cost. So it's very hard situation we find ourselves.
The artisans and timber traders, however, appeal to the government to salvage the situation, enable them remain in operation.
We are calling on the government to please, as a matter of urgent, because this electricity contribute like 70% of our livelihood. Not just because I sell building materials. There are people that sell, there are barbers, or there are, these iron fabricators. Without electricity, they cannot do anything.
So we are calling the government to look into it and help us and see what they can do over the light issue, so that we have it and we continue our lives.
Call on the government, they should please look, and our National Assembly should look towards this problem of electricity. I think giving every state its priority to generate light for themselves, I think it will solve the problem.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria on Thursday said it had identified the fault, and engineers are already working to restore power in the affected areas. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company PLC EEDC has clarified that it is still in existence and made claims making the rounds that the company has ceased to exist following the licensing of its subsidiary company Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited by the Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission EERC. Reacting to an inquiry by journalists on Friday on the matter, the spokesperson of EEDC, Emeka Eze said the company still exists. Eze said it was necessary to allay the fears and concerns expressed by its esteemed customers, vendors, service providers, and other stakeholders. It could be recalled that earlier in the week, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, finally handed over regulatory power to the EERC. With the development, Main Power took over the electricity distribution operations in Enugu State after it was presented with an interim operating license to distribute electricity in Enugu State by EERC. The takeover of Main Power has generated so much confusion and misconception in public space. The Central Bank of Nigeria has debunked reports claiming that the O series of 200, 500 and 1,000 naira banknotes will cease to exist as legal tenders by December 31, 2024. In a statement released on Thursday by the Acting Director of Corporate Communications, C.D. Hakama, the CBN noted that the order of the Supreme Court of Nigeria on Wednesday, November 29, 2023, to extend the use of old naira banknotes still holds indefinitely. The Supreme Court ordered that the O series of 200, 500 and 1,000 naira banknotes will continue to be legal tender alongside the redesigned versions. Accordingly, the CBN said all banknotes issued by it will continue to remain legal tender indefinitely. Away from Nigeria, Philippine rescue workers battled floodwaters Friday to reach residents still trapped on the roofs of their homes as tropical storm Trami, moved out to sea after killing at least 40 people. Tens of thousands remained displaced after fleeing floods driven by torrential downpour that damped 2 months' worth of rain in just 2 days in some areas. President Ferdinand Marcos said at a press briefing that accessibility remained a major issue for rescuers Friday, particularly in Bicol. The cities of Naga and Legazpi reported many casualties. And that brings to end news updates at this time. For more news, programs, and documentaries, do want to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream.